Hello and welcome to the Dominion Daily for May 3rd, 2026. We've got campaign features as it is Sunday. We've got King's Cash has pay later and includes sale. So sale makes everything one cheaper. And I guess it doesn't apply to King's Cash because pay later came in first, and then because it's a debt cost, then it doesn't get discounted. Interesting. That's not necessarily how I would have expected that to work, but I mean, like, maybe if they were in the reverse order, it would cost 6 debt. Anyway, so what do we have on the board? We've got Sentinel trashing. There's also Panic, which will effectively trash our treasures, whether we want it to or not. For plus actions, we've got Rustic Village, and then maybe later in the game, Paddock. For draw, we've got Paddock. And for gains, we've got Farmer's Market, and then Panic, essentially. Since Panic gives you 2 buys for every treasure, you can rebuy treasures, and then with, like, for any given treasure you play, you can, if you have the money, you can potentially rebuy the treasure with the first buy, and then buy something else with the second buy, and so net gain cards. And actually, normally, like, copper is not the most draw efficient way to do that, but the most, like, money efficient way to do that, because copper costs 0 and it gives you 1 money. I guess that's still true, but I guess where I'm going with this is because of sale. Like, silver costs 2, but it gives you 2 money. So here, like, playing a silver, rebuying the silver, is more productive than it would be normally. I mean, that's true for all the treasures, but silver is particularly notable in that because it at least breaks even. Copper is still giving you, like, more bang for your buck, so to speak, but of course is half as, like, efficient draw wise. So I could see, like, silver being the way to get that, to get those buys. Okay, so we've got a 5-2. Probably going to open with Sentinel on the 2. On the 5, I guess we could go Tea House. That's going to push towards activating Panic. We could go Coven, which does not. We could go Paddock as well. That is opening double terminal, though. I'm not at this point, I don't have any idea whether activating Panic is, like, good for us relative to the bot. I mean, there's a case to be made that if you're planning to activate Panic early anyway, that you don't need the Sentinel, because then you're, like, gonna have thinned effectively a lot of starting cards anyway. But on the other hand, we can't add a lot of draw to our deck until a pile is empty. So the estates are still pretty bad, and it'll be a little while before the Panic activates regardless. Getting Coven going would be nice from the perspective of emptying a pile and activating Paddock is another consideration there. Tea House is obviously, like, a better card for our deck than Coven is, but giving out the curses does seem potentially relevant. I mean, it doesn't look like a super fast kingdom until Panic gets activated at the very least. Yes, and there's also Way of the Worm, which, first of all, I suppose that counts as a potential source of gains that I did not mention, but also... Oh, wait, I got so focused in on the Panic stuff, I kind of forgot Rustic Villages on this board. I was saying about the draw, like, we can't get much draw until a pile empties. That's not true. We can. We just... I mean, it's still going to be slow because we don't have any plus buy outside of Farmer's Market, but, like, we can buy paddocks and Rustic Villages. It's still pretty slow, though. Anyway, but Way of the Worm is, like, potentially another way that a pile could empty. I think I'm leaning towards just getting the Coven. Nice. Okay. We probably do take a Rustic Village now. We can add a terminal. Or another terminal. Rustic Village also has some synergy with Sentinel. Now do we just go Paddock? We could also take one more Coven. I think one more Coven looks good. And now we take the Paddock. I mean, we could also Province already. Probably a little early for that. Yeah, let's get a Paddock. So we know we have the estate on top here. We could just play the Sentinel if what we want to do is buy another Rustic Village. We're going to end up top decking 6 cards, including the 2 Covens and the Paddock. I think that's fine. Nice. Okay, 2 plays away from Panic activation. So we're going to get plus buy pretty soon. We're also pretty close to the curses emptying. So like adding another Paddock does look pretty good. The bot's taken tea houses, but I think Paddock is mostly just better. So one downside to playing this Rustic Village is that we potentially set the bot up to activate Panic on its turn. I mean, we can cycle some cards, and it's at least conceivable that we find our other Rustic Village and activate it. Not terribly likely, though. We could stop here. We could even just buy a province. It's just we're so close to like being able to do more than that. Okay, we'll play the rustic village. Okay, well at least we got some extra horses for our trouble. We do also have like a fairly sizable points lead. Maybe we can afford to just keep taking these paddocks. Yeah. All right, here's the panic. Yeah, the bot didn't get a ton of value out of that anyway. All right. Let's see. I think I'm down to trigger the shuffle here without discarding. Although, well, no, let's not. Okay, that looks good. Okay, so that's most of our copper. We didn't get back around to a coven to dump the curses on them, which is a little unfortunate, but... Oh, the bot must have warned. Okay. I'm wondering about just going, like... Paddock silver? Maybe? I think we've got... Do we have any more copper down there? There's 4 coppers in the trash. We just trashed 2 copper. We trashed a copper earlier. I think we have like 1 copper down there. We should also be thinking about, like, can we get a pile out? Because, especially with sale, like, it costs only 7 coins to pile the estates. And it costs nothing to pile the poorhouses. Except for the buys. It's going to be hard to get that many buys, though. Well... I think I'll take... Like 2 buys... If I'm wrong about it having a copper, 2 buys is not great. But 4 buys should be enough for next turn, probably. So I think you get 1 copper. Yeah, okay, I do have another copper. Oh, whatever. Do not know why the bot is buying so many poor houses. Other than maybe trying to set me up to win. This is both of our coppers. Playing this Sentinel doesn't accomplish anything. And dump the curses. It's chuck the Sentinel on a copper. I think that makes sense. Okay. So we play... How do we do this? We want to draw that other copper. We could try to top deck some horses. Or we could play the Rustic Village. Well, no, if we draw the copper, then we're top decking the Sentinel. We don't really want to do that anyway. If we draw the Sentinel, then it's fine. We like discard horse and Sentinel and draw the copper, but I guess what we should actually do is just play the horse, play all these paddocks. Okay, now before I commit to top decking horses, we definitely don't have a win, right? Like we have... Five buys, yeah. So yeah, no, definitely not. Okay. Do that. Okay. So we take... We're actually not that far off. Let me go back here. We have 3 actions. If we... And 7 buys. So we do win, right? If we draw 2 more horses and then we exile 3 estates instead of... No, we would need to exile 4 estates. And we don't have the actions for that. Oh man, that's really close. Wonder... Yeah, there's no way for us to get more actions this turn. To be able to exile more estates. Oh well. Right. So province. That puts us out of range of the estate pile out for the bot. And then we're gonna need more treasures. How many more treasures? So we have 9 horses on top of our deck, plus this horse. So 10 horses total. So we might get curses dumped, and we might have to draw through 3 curses. Let's assume that that's the case. I mean, ideally, we would like find and trash them with the Sentinel, but how is the bot planning to play all those poor houses? It has 2 rustic villages. Like, what the heck? Anyway, so 10 horses will increase our hand size by 10. So we'll have 15 cards. Minus 1, 2, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So that leaves us with 2 stop cards worth of slack, but then we can also like spin a little bit with Rustic Village. And there's also the potential to trigger a shuffle like with horses from paddock and draw more cards that way. Uh, so is it better to get like a tea house and some coppers, or to get like a couple silvers and some coppers? Tea house is like if we got, let's say that we got tea house and 4 coppers, that would be 6 money and 8 buys. If we got 2 silvers and 3 coppers, that would be 7 money and 10 buys. So the silvers are better so long as we can draw them. And I guess that's the question. But I think it's worth doing. If we don't get the curses dumped on us, then we can definitely draw it. Oh, we did. There's also the possibility that Sentinel can trash before we need to draw through the curses. On another poorhouse. Okay. There's also the possibility that we don't see either of our villages. Didn't really think about that one. We drew like all but one of our non-action stop cards. We didn't see the other silver. We drew neither of our villages. And how many horses did we play? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we did find that 1 horse. Yeah, down here is what? 2 paddocks, a silver, and 2 rustic villages. That's pretty ridiculous. I'm assuming I still have a win. Yeah. Because the bot, for some reason, really wanted to lower the poorhouses. Yeah, very strange behavior from the bot there. Like, yeah, this doesn't make any sense. Yeah, I am kind of annoyed about how bad that draw was. Like, even seeing 1 rustic village would have meant, you know, potentially we cycle out 2 curses, and then maybe we get, or like if we saw it earlier, maybe we get to play the sentinel like before we draw some of the cards or whatever. Like, blah. Not that, you know, I don't know. We missed out on 6 coins, so we could have bought what? We could have bought another province for sure. Because we finished with 2 coins. So we had 6 coins after buying the first province, so we would have had 12. We could have bought another province and still bought the duchy. Yeah. Oh well. It's not a big deal, obviously. So yeah, I feel like that was in terms of balancing these different, like the question, the big question about this board was, you know, how much do you want to go for like Coven versus Tea House versus Paddock, and then when do you want to start scoring? I feel pretty good about my chosen path. I'm definitely not confident that it was like the best line, but I think winning the curse split was definitely nice. Like the points potentially actually mattered. And then yeah, I mean, I feel good about having the draw in the deck with Paddock, rather than just like the cantrip money with Tea House. Obviously, Paddock as draw is slow because it takes a turn to actually generate the draw. So that's the downside, but it's still like I had way better deck control than the bot did. Yeah. Well, anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.